Chicken Air, bring you another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be taking on Imitation Game with the All Scorchers. We're going to be getting into a bit of a hashtag chicken guide with the Scorchers, guys. So just some tips and stuff that that everyone can kind of use and benefit from because I assume most of you are going to be using All Scorchers this weekend with the Scorcher Mania. 24 diamonds for 8 Scorchers is pretty amazing. I gotta say, I am kind of disappointed it wasn't a Scorcher Tank Mania after the last Mania we got. That was a combo troop one. I forget which combo it was exactly, but it was something. We got, I was just bothering the trick now. But anyways, we got a combo troop Mania before, so I figured we would get one for the Scorchers in tanks. But anyways, guys, so a couple key things to keep in mind with Scorchers, and I'm also going to go over some defensive tricks, just so you can get a little more intel this weekend. So first off, Scorchers have massive health, obviously. A cool thing is a level 1 unboosted Scorcher with no health statues has more health than a heavy does with 10 max troop health statues boosted. How crazy is that? Because a max heavy with 10 health statues boosted has around 21,000 health, and the baseline for a Scorcher is 25,000 health. 25,000 health is what they start with. So anyways, so obviously I have 5 GBE statues, and you see me deploy them, and then I only have 14 left. So they take a massive amount of GBE to be deployed. It's over 80. It's like it's close to 100. But yeah, lots of GBE needed to run them effectively. You need like a pretty good whack of GBE, honestly. That's why I mainly use them. If I was going to clear my map or something, I would do it when I was boosted just because it's easier. And to go along with that, I think using 6 boats of Scorchers is going to be better off than using the full 8, unless you have something ridiculous like 7 or 8 perfect GBE statues. Because that's going to allow you to take out more boom cannons and have more shocks for the shock launchers and stuff. And it's just gonna, the more GBE you have with Scorchers, it's gonna be a lot easier. The problem is with Scorchers is when you throw 8 down and then you don't have any left, and then you're getting hit by the shock launchers, and the boom cannons get a couple shots on shots off on you, and obviously the biggest thing to look out for is doom cannons and shock blasters, but we'll get into that in a second, guys. So they have a really fast run speed, as you can see. So what's good about this is you can actually smoke to certain areas. Obviously not if you're using 8, because that takes a massive amount of GBE, like we said. But see right here, the boom cannon is in range, and I can smoke them up past it without putting another smoke down right away because they're so fast, right? They're not like Zukas, where as soon as they walk out of the smoke, they're going to get completely roasted by everything because they just walk so slowly. So you can get them up, especially if you're using like 5 or 6 of them, you can get them up to certain areas, so you could skip all the boom cannons on the front of the shore. And you can space your smokes out really, really wide, or really long, I should say, and that's going to save you a lot of GBE, because that's really all it comes down to, is just saving GBE with the Scorchers. And that brings us to our next point. So when the flare runs up, they switch targets. So the big thing about the Scorchers is they kind of sit on one thing, they burn it for a minute, and then they move on to the next target, and they burn it for a minute, and they never really take one thing out before moving to the next. So when you're taking out key defenses and getting them to specific areas, and you want to take out this boom cannon first, or this shock blaster first, or whatever it happens to be, you want to go ahead and and flare onto that defense so it takes it out completely. I'll just show you right here. And then, so say I'm flaring onto this normal cannon just to take it out. So if that flare had expired before they had finished taking it down, which is pretty common because they don't do a massive amount of damage, especially against like a health boosted doom cannon or boom cannon or something like that. Once the flare runs out, then they're going to switch targets and just move on to something else. And the problem with Scorchers is if it was any other troop and they were targeted onto a specific defense, and the flare runs up, since it's the closest thing to them, they're going to take it out regardless. But with the Scorchers, they're going to run up past it. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're taking on like higher health bases. Obviously, it doesn't matter for Imitation Game. The early stages, it does make a difference because we can just plow right through everything without using any GB. So the troops to use with Scorchers. Now, in my opinion, tanks are the best troop to use with Scorchers, and I like the 3 Scorchers to 5 tank setup because it's going to be easier on your GBE. You're going to get more damage. Tanks are a lot easier to control than Scorchers, but a lot of people like to go 4-4, and that does work. And it kind of depends on the base, honestly. If say there's a like less single shot stuff that you have to deal with, then I would go with 4-4. If it's a tougher base, I think 3-5 is going to be better because you get that additional damage and you get that additional GBE, so it allows you to plan your attack a little better. So yeah, this is basically the problem here, guys. You can see we're already well, I guess everything's still such a low level that it doesn't matter, but it's taking a toll on the chicken's GBE here just to get moving. So, switch between targets, we went over that. I'm going to shock the hotpot. Now, the hotpot isn't really a big deal. Obviously, you don't want it sitting on the Scorchers too long, but you're going to be better off to spend your GBE taking out boom cannons and shocking boom cannons. Like, if you have to shock a boom cannon or a hotpot, you definitely shock the boom cannon. The Scorcher can take the hits from the hotpot fairly well. So it's not like with any other troop where it's like the hotpot is up, you have to shock it. It can actually eat the hotpot's flames for a little bit. And if you're going to use Skuka, Scorcher Zuka is a pretty common troop composition. Again, I like it more so boosted than unboosted. It is pretty hard to control and everything. But if you're going to use Skuka, just be aware that Scorchers are really bad at clearing mines. Oh no, we got a grappler and a doom cannon, guys. This could be bad. So I'll go ahead and take out the grappler first, and we'll probably end up using less than all of the Scorchers on this entire raid. Just because I need to save that GBE to take out the grappler, because there's no way that we can deal with this and still keep going. Oh man. So we're going to have like maybe 4 deployed? That's okay, that's okay. So basically what we have to do here is just kind of take out certain sections. And we can't let that Doom Cannon hit us too much. So you see there, a couple shots with the Doom Cannon and your raid's basically over. And then we've got the Boom Cannon and the cannons picking us off as well. So we have to spend our GBE to keep this Doom Cannon down, guys. So this is where you run into problems when you have to shock something specifically. So I'm gonna have to let that one Scorcher die. And you see right here when he blows up, did you see him take out that that gold storage? So when you're using Scorchers with any other sort of troop combination, you have to keep in mind that the Scorcher, when it blows up, it's going to do splash damage, and that's actually going to affect your troops behind it as well. Any troops that you're running with it. So if you have Scorchers and tanks, you can actually be you can actually lose all your tanks if the Scorcher blows up in the middle of it. So definitely be aware of where the Scorcher is exactly when they're about to blow up, and you can save them just by smoking them. Because obviously once they're under smoke, then nothing's going to shoot them, and then you can either kind of flare them back and get them in a better area, or do something like that. Okay, so we're going to take out this left side, and then we're going to be basically good to go here, guys. That was a tough base for Scorchers just because of the grappler. There's really no way around the grappler when you're using Scorchers and tanks and stuff. So you kind of have to take it out, or like shock it and go right for it immediately. So kind of puts you in a bit of a hashtag chicken spot there, guys, but that's alright. So we'll move on up here, we'll go to the left side, and then we'll just kind of clear out everything. And so let's talk a little bit about the best defenses you can use. So obviously, as we just saw here, the grappler is going to basically shut down an unboosted all Scorcher raid, just because if you don't have the GBE to take it out, the grappler is just going to completely destroy the Scorchers. It's going to keep pulling them, and when it brings them to a new spot, they're going to retarget and shoot all different defenses all in one little area. So they never really get a lot of work done. It's not like if they pulled like obviously they wouldn't pull a group of Zukas or anything like that, but if they did pull a group of Zukas, it would be different because they would take out all of the defenses around it. The Scorcher's kind of going to do, especially with only one Scorcher, it's not going to do very much damage in that little area, so it can kind of just keep pulling them to there without them being able to take it down. So it's just some general tips for your base. Spread out your boom cannons. You don't want to be able to shock 2 boom cannons at once. Shock launchers and boom cannons are going to be your best defense along with using doom cannons and grapplers. Honestly, I would go 2 grapplers, grappler shield, or grappler and doom cannon. That's going to be the best combination for taking out Scorchers. It depends on your ice too. I mean, if you have a heavy ice base, maybe 2 shock blasters would be best. Holy man. Alright, so we got another grappler to deal with here. I think we'll go ahead and just take it down first, because we don't want to deal with that. And we can avoid the boom cannon on the far left side. This one actually has less health than the other one, which is kind of strange. Yeah, okay, so I think we'll be able to get... Yeah, we got most of them out there. So next we're going to be working on the boom cannons. We probably won't be able to finish this raid in one, guys. So what my plan is here is basically just let them farm up GBE, and I'm just going to slowly damage the boom cannons as much as possible. I'm not going to be worried about sending out my other troops. And you see these boosted up doom cannons, or boom cannons, excuse me, they actually do a ton of damage to the Scorchers, so they have to be dealt with. They have to be shocked, they have to be GB'd down almost immediately, guys, if you want to have any chance of success using all Scorchers. So of course Scorchers are mainly used for clearing NPCs, because you can honestly, more often than not, you can clear NPCs with Scorchers, and you just throw them out, and then you force close the app, and then you bring it back up, and then that takes like what, like 5 seconds, right? And then by the time you brought it back up, it's just instant, so they clear the entire NPC. So that's a little hashtag chicken trick for you guys. We're actually getting a lot more work done than I thought. We need to take out these 2 boom cannons here. But other than that, I don't really see a whole pile of stuff that I'm too worried about. Those cannons are going to start adding up in damage. So I'll go ahead and shock that one. And I guess we are going to be able to finish this, guys. I was not expecting that. So that's just basically how a Scorcher raid goes. You just kind of let them farm up GBE, and then you work on specific defenses by either shocking or GBEing them down. Once your barrage gets up to like 28 cost, I would just switch to shocks. It's just gonna be better value for your GBE, and that can kind of like get you through the first half of the base by using barrage and artillery on the boom cannons and stuff. And then the second half, you can start to shock the shock launchers and the doom cannons and everything like that. So obviously that base didn't have any doom cannons. I don't think, maybe it did. I don't know. So best defense strategy for using Scorchers, guys. You want to spread out your boom cannons, like I said. Spread out your normal cannons. Make sure they're not shocked. These prototypes aren't the best that I have right here for defending against all Scorchers. You want to use grapplers. You want to use doom cannons. Maybe even throw in a shock blaster if you already have it up and don't want to take it down just for the sake of getting ready for Scorcher Mania. But yeah, honestly, the biggest thing is just spreading out your defenses. Not too much where the Scorcher can just take out one thing individually. But you just want to have, like, I'm too spread out here, I would say, with all my cannons and stuff. I would move them in a little bit more if I was really intent on getting as much intel as I could from the Scorcher Mania weekend. And yeah, so move them in a little closer, but not close enough that they can be shocked. And that's basically all you need to know on that, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to let me know down in the comments if you have, and if you're excited about Scorcher Mania, if you have any any tips that I missed, that the chicken missed, guys, for using Scorchers. What is your favorite troop to use with Scorchers, guys? Let me know that down in the comments. That's going to wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Chicken out.